We've been on a unique series, prepaid meter reject, how to fix, how to identify what could be wrong, and every other thing that is within that sphere of influence. Now, this video is actually a continuation from the previous video we made, where we discussed properly what could be the key cause of reject as it relates to token. Today we'll be focusing on what could be the possible cause of reject as it has to do with prepaid meter. Before we go into this video, can you stay put while we take a short break, and we will be right back. Prepaid meter has actually made life simple for everyone that happens to be a beneficiary, because it has curbed the place for this estimated billing and all that. But sometimes the frustration of certain happenings might keep you aback. I want to look at what could possibly be a cause for reject as it concerns prepaid meter. We have peripheral checks we can do. Yes, those are like surface checks, one or two comparisons. You want to point this and this, you want to bring some information side by side. Those are physical. And we have technical checks as well. We have a big man problem in terms of prepaid reject. Why I term that as a big man problem is because prepaid meter has, let's say, the volume of token it can take. Let's assume your prepaid meter has a volume of just 100 kilowatt, for example. If you've loaded up to 100 kilowatt and you're trying to load another 50 kilowatt, if the threshold, I'm not saying your meter is 100 kilowatt, I'm only citing examples for you to know that there's a limit you will get to, you can't load again. Okay, if the meter has a threshold of 100 kilowatts and you have, let's say, 90 kilowatts and you're trying to load 50 kilowatts, it will reject it until your balance threshold has dropped possibly down to 50, so it can accommodate the next 50. So that's a big man problem. But so far I've been in this field, I don't think I've seen anybody that have exceeded, or maybe I've primed it to. Maybe I will need to reach out one or two customer service officers across the East Coast to know if any customer has actually recharged to the level where the threshold is saturated. Common problems again, when we bring things like communication error, faulty interface, and tampering, we have communication errors that often pop up when the interface is not communicating to the meter. Sometimes this thing gives you error, some it gives you failed. Different displays, it gets back to you to let you know that communication is not established between the interface and the meter. Some says error 01, some says failed, some says error 77, some different kind of errors come up. That's communication. Then when we now look at tampering, some customers will tamper with the meter and will still try to recharge in order to keep deceiving themselves, thinking they are deceiving the disco, not knowing that this meters has embedded level of intelligence that most times returns an appreciable number of information to the discos to get some things disclosed. So if most of these meters are bypassed and you try to recharge, sometimes with the level of component broken in, instead of telling you error, it returns reject, okay, and all that. So tampering is a no-no for any user of PPM. So faulty interface, there could be a time when the interface itself can be faulty, and when you're trying to use such faulty interface, you just have to know that the hardware issues that connect to the input system of that interface no longer works well, and at that it will automatically tend to reject. So another physical check you can do is the meter number check. We can have a case where the meter number inscribed on the nameplate of the meter, where you see meter numbers, can be different from what is inside the meter, and what you have access to is what is on the nameplate of the meter. I made a video on how to check the meter number of some key meters. So in the case where your meter is still rejecting and you've done one or two things you needed to do and no way, I think one of the checker you need to engage is to check the meter number inscribed on the meter nameplate and the one you have on the token you bought. Then use the code. If you don't know the code to check your meter number, you can ask the customer service, or you could just type your meter number and ask, please request for query code. State the name of the brand of your meter, and we can drop the code you can press in to confirm what the meter number is. So you can use that code to check the meter number and know whether what is in the meter is same thing with what is on the nameplate you have. Now we're going to let me take you through the technical side. Now the one we just discussed are just physical checks. Now in the technical aspect, there's actually a principle around this, and I saw it fully in use earlier in my engineering practice when I was with North South Power Company Limited. We all know Shiroro Dam. Okay, Oshobo is a control unit for all this power generated. That's why this thing is synchronized. We know of synchronization. We know that, okay, power is moved there, synchronized, is distributed. We don't know how all these things are done. But in the control room for power from Shiroro, for example, to get to Oshobo, there are actually key parameters the control room agents have to consider before tying our feed to that. Those key parameters are the phase angle, the voltage, and the frequency. Once those three things are in sync, they will tie, they will knock. That synchronize what is generated from Shiroro to Oshobo. Now, in same manner, distribution companies, their servers and prepaid meters run with same synchronization principle. For your prepaid meter to accept a token from the disco, your key revision number, your tariff index, and your SGC must be synchronized. If there's any difference in any of the parameter, automatically the meter rejects. Now, in a case where there's any disparity in any of these three key parameters, that's where key change token comes in. What is key change token? Key change token is just a token that can change a key. Simple. If it's the KRN that is not in sync with what is with the disco generates a key change token that will automatically alignment with what is in the disco platform. So much needs to be discussed, and we don't have all the time to give all the explanation, but these key things can help you resolve reject as it concerns prepaid meter. So stay tuned for more updates.